Project 2025 targets the LGBTQ plus community, threatening to strip away rights and protections they fought so hard to secure. It's an agenda that puts millions at risk. I'm absolutely furious because these MAGA extremists are going after the most vulnerable among us, the people who've already been pushed to the margins and who have had to live in fear just to survive. These are our family members, our friends, our neighbors who've been labeled as evil by the far right, demonized just for being who they are. We've even seen a so-called TV preacher take a Bible baseball bat to a Barbie dream house, like some twisted symbolism of their hatred. This isn't just rhetoric, folks. These people are absolutely nuts. And Agenda 47 is a direct assault on the trans and gay communities. It's going to turn them into targets for right-wing hatred, all under the twisted guise of doing God's work. We don't have to embellish how radical Project 2025 is. It's all laid out, plain as day. This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's a full-scale attack on our democracy and the people who need protection the most. We're going to break it down for you word by word, because if we don't actively resist this, we might as well hand over the keys to our country to these zealots. But before we dive into the madness, I need you to take action. Go to your favorite social media platform, search for Turn Left PAC, and hit that subscribe button. You need to see our Resist Project 2025 reels. It's not just content, it's ammunition for this fight.
As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
Joining me today is Kimber Watson from Greeley Weld Indivisible to walk us through this. Kimber, today we're talking about rolling back protections, and we want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the show. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for inviting me today, John. I'm really excited to be here, and I think this is a very good topic. I mean, Project 2025 is a really scary document, and the things that they're pertaining to do with the LGBT community is just infuriating.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you decided to come on the show because we wanted to bring a local perspective to how this is going to affect our community. And us being that we live in the same Greeley Weld community, we have a little bit of insight, and we can personalize what's really going on and give that a personal feel on what's happening in our local communities and things like that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Greeley Weld Indivisible? What is the organization? What do you stand for? What do you do?
Greeley Weld Indivisible is one of the branches of the Indivisible National. Sorry. And we got together in 2017 because we were going to stop Trump at all costs. That's what we how we put ourselves out there forward. Um, we in really indivisible for years. We were doing a lot of public education for healthcare, disabilities, protecting the LGBTQ community and our immigrants, and um, that's pretty much who Indivisible is. I mean, we're right now we're geared up. We're geared up. We're all in for Harris Walz campaign, and we're really excited. Um, we're trying to get people out there, get little bees working, so that they can get Harris and Walz elected new presidency.
Outstanding. That's a plan, and we're in that together. Absolutely.
So in the meantime, I'm an activist. I'm an activist for the seniors and the disabled, and anybody that's being disparate, like the LGBTQ community. That's my role in this community. We have a very high population of a very high LGBTQ community here in Greeley, and I don't think people really know that. And it scares me because a lot of my friends are in that community, and it's like, what's going to happen to them if this if Trump wins and they try to put all this 20 Project 2025 stuff into effect?
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. Well, that leads us directly into the first question. Um, in your opinion, how does Project 2025 aim to roll back LGBTQ plus protections?
Well, it's really hard because it's so discriminatory. I mean, the thing is that the trans people won't have access to health care. Mental health is most important for trans people. Um, I have a friend that's a really close friend that's trans, and has been trans for over 25 years. And the thing is, it's like the mental adjustment that people have to go through when they make that decision to become whoever they're going to be, male or female. Um, it's traumatizing. And then when they have to have a procedure, that's even harder on them. It's a big difference. But can you imagine, like, living in a body that you don't fit in, and then you finally get to be able to say, "Hey, I can get this surgery." But if they roll these protections back, these people won't be able to have access to the right health care, nor will they be able to get those surgeries that they still need or want.
Oh my goodness. I can totally understand having the freedom to be who you are.
Mm,
Everybody should be able to be who they are, love who they love, and go about their life without the interference of legislators telling us what to do with our lives. Um,
mm,
these folks are our family, they're our friends, they're our neighbors,
right? I mean,
and
how
and just to be able to, with the stroke of a pen, implement new plans and new procedures that would make their lives miserable and push folks who have already been pushed to the edge over.
mm,
And why? In the name of God, in the name of Christian nationalism.
yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, okay, just recently, the Catholic Church, who is probably the strictest churches when it comes to marriages and of the LGBT community, just sanctioned in the last few months. They just sanctioned for them to be able to take Holy Communion. To me, that was the most incredible thing that I've ever seen a church do. Um, but what you're hearing right now is they're like nobody wants to include everybody because if you include everybody, you're woke. And I saw a meme just recently where it talked about how Jesus, healed the sick and fed the poor and told everybody to love yourself as you do me. And if that's the way if that's woke, if you ask me, Jesus was woke, so I'm woke, right?
Absolutely. I'm woke.
But yeah, see, hey, all right. So we're both woke. But I mean, it's like the discrimination is just so beyond. Um, and one of the things I was talking to a friend about the other day is this whole Project 2025, and it doesn't matter. I mean, while we're talking about the LGBTQ community, however, the way it's going to take the rights from everybody, whether you're white, part of the LGBTQ community, black, Mexican, it doesn't matter who you are, they're going to take your rights away. That's the bottom line. I mean,
Absolutely. This is the impact that this is going to have on the LGBTQ community. We've kind of spelled it out. This is going to turn our community where we live into a hostile environment.
right.
Making it harder
Hmm.
for folks who are already marginalized to live free from this type of discrimination.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just it's just wrong.
It really is. And, it's really sad because, I'm old enough to where I've seen the change. I've seen where in the 80s, in the 70s, and the 80s, to be part of the LGBT community, it was like people would attack people on the streets for being gay. It's like, why? Why would you want to hurt another human being because they have a different choice pattern than you do? It just doesn't seem right. But I've seen it go from that to the acceptance. We saw more acceptance when Obama came into the presidency, and he signed in the laws that he signed in to protect these people. Um, but since, and I'm trying to stay away from the T word. But since Trump has come into the picture, we're starting to see more and more and more how against the LGBT community that people are, and it's really sad because to me it's like when people are showing their ugly side. It's like, why do we have to be ugly? Why can't we just all love one another? I mean,
That
we
is
don't
the point.
choose. Yeah, we don't choose who we love. We love who we love, and that's the way it is. I mean, nobody can tell me that I can't love a woman. I mean, why? That's my choice. The last thing I was going to bring up was is that when they roll back these protections, trans people, and I'm focusing on trans people because I feel like they're the ones that are the most pain, to be honest. Um, but like, there, when you go to the schools, they have bathrooms that are for either gender, and they may take those away. They won't let somebody that's like a trans woman go into a woman's bathroom anymore, where they can do that now, and that will take that away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, nobody's thinking about some of these things.
Holy
So
mackerel.
yeah, and so like even if you go back to Obama, the ACA, or what they call Obamacare, Obama, there's protections in there for people who have pre-existing conditions and things like that. Well, if they turn back all this stuff and take it back, these people may not even be able to get insurance. That's one of the things I'm really concerned about because they're trying to take away the ACA as well. So if they take away the ACA protections and they take away all these other rights that they have now, the community has now, what's going to happen?
Rolling back LGBTQ plus protections isn't just harmful, it's a step backwards for human rights. And we're going to explore this a little bit more after the break.
When I ran for Congress, we flipped more Trump voters blue than any other congressional race in the country. We did this by calling out the GOP's lies and speaking truth against their $1 million attack ads. I've now partnered with Turn Left, and we're taking the fight to the extremists like Marge the Trainwreck Green, Ted Cruz, and Josh Hawley, to name a few. And I'm asking each and every one of you all to donate $25 today to the group that is absolutely helping to send these jackaloons packing. It's time to speak truth to power and turn left.
Project 2025 doesn't stop at rolling back protections. It's also a direct threat to healthcare access, especially for transgender people. Kimber, how could Project 2025 affect healthcare for LGBTQ plus people?
Well, one of the things it'll do is people who are trans won't be able to get gender reassignments again, or be able to get uh, will not be able to get gender reassignments done. And one of the concerns would be with their mental health. Um, Most trans people who are trying to make the decision, they get depressed. They don't know. I mean, you're told from the time you're a child, you're a girl, or you're a boy. Um, that's what your parents tell you. That's your gender that they say you're born with. But if you don't fit in that gender body, and everything else inside of you says that you're female or a male, and you want to be able to get the reassignment so your body and your whole physique, everything will match what you feel on the inside, that'll be denied to them. They won't be able to get their gender reassignments. And again, like I said before, mental health is a big part of this. There were more suicides. Oh no, I that's not right. Sorry.
Go ahead, I could piece it together.
Okay, okay. Um, Trans people tend to have a higher rate of suicide, um, because people don't understand. They don't understand, and they don't understand because, like I said before, they're raised to be male or female. So that's pretty traumatic. I mean, if I had to choose what kind of body I wanted to be in, I think that would be really difficult. And then for some bureaucrats or legislators wanting to tell them who they should be, that's just totally wrong. I mean,
Oh, you're absolutely
America,
right.
yeah, I mean, America was built on freedoms.
Yeah, and they are, and America was certainly built on freedoms and the pursuit of happiness and the pursuit of those freedoms, and to have a legislator come along and try to and get involved in your medical procedures, get involved and want to know what's what's in your pants, basically. It's just so wrong. It's like while they could be focusing on issues like climate change, housing security, food insecurity, things that affect everyday people, they are concerned about it's almost perverted to the degree that they go with the interest of are you a man, are you a woman, and I think we all saw what's going on with in the latest in the Olympics with the Algerian boxer, that everybody jumped on, it seemed to jump on board saying, oh, that's just wrong, that person's trans, or and then it was when that was disproven, then that person's a man, then this and that, and it's just these harmful stereotypes that makes it difficult for people to deal with life and to cope with life. And our legislators shouldn't be making it more difficult, and especially on groups of the community that have already been marginalized and have been pushed to the edge.
There we go.
So,
So
you know, brings us into, what do you think the broader consequences of these
yeah.
healthcare rollbacks are going to be?
So like I'm no expert, but I will say this. I'm terrified because let's take a look at Texas right now. What's happening to the women in Texas who had their rights taken away? Not only did the women have their rights taken away to be able to make a choice between having a child or not having a child, they are also threatening doctors in Texas. And it's like, what are they going to do if they get into power and they roll back these um, civil rights for the LGBT community? What's going to happen with the providers? I mean, are they going to be arrested? Are they, um, if they treat these people? It's a really scary world, and I think the best way that I can describe it is it's so Handmaid's Tale. Sorry, but it is. I mean, in a Handmaid's Tale, you're either straight or you're straight. There was nothing else, you know, and it just that's what's scary about the whole thing is that these people won't have the right to choose to have an operation. They may lose their insurances. Um, they will be denied the quality care that everybody else gets.
That
I don't know.
certainly
It's just really scary.
is certainly not fair. It does not seem fair and um, equitable in
Mm-hmm.
a civilized country, uh, the United States of America. Healthcare is a human right, not just a
Yes.
privilege. Project 2025's attack on LGBTQ plus community healthcare is cruel and unjust. After the break, we'll discuss the implications for marriage equality.
Today, we have an amazing show for you. Join myself, special guests, and celebrities. What's going on, Ice-T? Andrew Yang. Somebody else was hopping on. Oh, hold on.
What's going on, Battle?
As we roast GQP Jackaloons. He may not be a real businessman, but he is one hell of a con artist. That's what it is. That's what they got indicted for. Treason and sedition. And address the headlines of the day. They must be held accountable. Live streaming every night. I got more time in a friggin' quarter in a friggin' combat zone than you probably got in the military. This is Ojeda Live.
The undermining of marriage equality. Project 2025's impact on LGBTQ plus rights doesn't end there. It also threatens marriage equality.
Well, one of the things is like that people won't be able to get married. They won't sanction marriages in states anymore. We've already seen in Florida what they're doing with their "Don't Say Gay" bill, um, and they're not allowed to teach certain things in schools. But it's like seriously, I don't know. But if we look at this, my question has been, I think, all along is if they're not going to sanction the marriages, then what's going to happen to people that we know that are already married? Are they going to make them not be married? I mean, are they going to still have legal marriages in each state? It's kind of a really scary time. I have never seen this community this afraid since the 80s or 80s. I think it was the 80s is the last time I've seen the LGBTQ community actually be afraid to be out there and be who they are. And it scares me because when you have somebody like Donald Trump who has many times made comments about, oh, well, we should just kill them all, like with the disabled, if they're disabled, let's just get rid of them, So, what are we just going to get rid of all these people? We're just going to send everybody out of the country because they're not straight. They're going in there in 184 days. They're just going to start shredding stuff up.
By
Starting with the Constitution.
executive order, day after day.
Exactly. And the thing is it's not going to matter anymore. It just isn't going to matter. Even though the Supreme Court put in protections to protect the LGBT community, the way that the courts are stacked right now, the way that they were stacked while Trump was in the presidency. I don't know if you remember when Mitch McConnell he said that he wasn't passing bills, he wasn't doing anything other than stacking the courts. He kept putting judge in after judge after judge, and there was a reason for that. And we're starting to see those reasons with the Dobbs decision, with the Roe v. Wade decision. Um, so I don't know. It used to be like an executive order was just a piece of paper that a president used in an emergency situation when he couldn't get the two parties to behave. Now it seems like they're writing them all the time because they can't get Congress to work. And I don't really know for sure how they're going to do this with the. I mean, you're just going to write an executive order and you're going to say, okay, no, you can't no longer be married or you can't be gay. We're going to arrest you if you're gay. I mean, what is their plan? Because that part they haven't told us. But
Well,
they have told us about how they're going to change the civil servants, they're going to take away education, reverse EPA, OSHA, things like that. It's like they
they're
want to
going to
reverse
do it.
everything.
They are
Mm-hmm.
going to do it by placing partisan sycophants in positions of power that they can
Right.
just carry out Donald Trump's fascist manifesto. And it doesn't matter what they call it. If it's Project
Yep.
2025, Agenda 47, it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. And it's the
Right.
dismantling of our democracy.
Right. And the sad part is all this all started. The way that I understand it is the way that this is all started was when the Brown versus Board of Education was the ruling came down about the second because that had to do with segregation in the schools, and the Christians didn't like that. Jerry Falwell is the one who he created a group called the Moral Majority, and because they didn't want to let black people into the schools,
I remember that.
right? So yeah, so and I mean I lived that era. I've been there. I don't want to go back. You know, that's why I like Paris's "We Won't Go
Yeah,
Back"
we won't go
because I
back,
don't.
that's for sure.
Donald Trump and the Republicans, all they ever do is talk about the deep state. Okay, and they always say it's the left. That's the deep state. And when Project 2025 hit the internet, and I first heard about it, I was like, "Oh no, 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 no! You guys are doing the pointing the finger at the other party so that it'll take the heat off of you guys." But they are the deep state. They're the ones because Project 2025 tells us how deep they want to go. They've already stacked the courts. I mean, look at what just happened. I mean, giving a president immunity for anything he does in the White House. It's like, dude, no, it's so wrong.
It's like
It's
no
so
one is
wrong.
above the law, and we want to keep it
Right.
that way.
So yeah, so if you think about it, if you really think about it, if they overturn all these protections that we have for the LGBTQ community, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to go further into that, and they'll go, okay, now whatever their plan is, we don't know their final plan, but because they just want heterosexual marriages, man and wife only, the bottom line is what they want, and this is really old school, but what they want is they want to keep women barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen.
It's about
Doesn't matter if
control.
you're gay, straight, or trans. Absolutely, and I don't want to go back.
Thanks for joining us. We said at the start, to defeat Project 2025, we must actively resist Project 2025. Here's how you can take action today. Visit turnleftpac.org and sign up for our emails. You can request a boilerplate letter to send directly to your reps in Congress, telling them you won't support anyone who doesn't protect LGBTQ plus rights. Project 2025 rolls back protections, denies health care, and undermines marriage equality, all to push a radical agenda disguised as conservatism. Project 2025 isn't just an attack on LGBTQ plus rights, it's an attack on basic human rights. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen. Share this video, get involved, tag someone who must hear the truth in the comments, like and subscribe, and stay tuned next for Ojeda Live.